A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
I was thinking about, what's that song? It's probably by someone named Ben that's like, Sunday morning. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, is that, it's not Jason Mraz, is it? No.
Or a facsimile of. It's one of those.
So John Mayer.
Sunday morning. It's not John Mayer, although I'm sure he has one. But I was like scrolling through Instagram and looking at like Korean pastel bedroom setups.
Mm-hmm.
And not that pastel is a certain type of Korean, but like Korean girls do these like very dreamy bedroom setups. And somebody was playing that song. And I was thinking about the vibe that a Sunday morning has versus a Saturday morning. Like a Sunday morning is romantic and relaxed. It's never like it's the Sunday New York Times. Because Saturday, you're like, got to get up, got to do a powerlifting class, got to take the kids. Got to be productive, got to absorb all the maximum fun. And Sunday, I think, is slower because it's assumed we're all hungover with someone.
But the other side of that is that it's 5 p.m. Sunday for me and I am in a mood. It has hit me that my fun is done. Work starts tomorrow. Like it's almost bedtime Sunday. Sunday past like 2 or 3 p.m. You're just like, ugh, life starts tomorrow.
There's definitely a Japanese word for like the dread, the existential dread of like being in something that should be fun, but still dreading the bad thing that's coming. I came home from this gig, from being on that TV show. I came home. I had like 2 days. I don't even know where I've been. And I had to play a casino Friday night in San Bernardino, which was great. But it's still like 2 hours each way, which is fine. Come home and Noah is out of town. And like, I found myself with this Sunday, but I had 3 auditions due by Monday. And these aren't like light lifts. Like one is to play the daughter of a woman with dementia. One is to play a porn star. And the other is like a Christmas movie and whatever. And I don't want to just like phone it in. So that requires like, and my acting coach is like in Iceland. So Bonnie Zane, famed casting director, helped me out. But like these things take time. So we get home from San Bernardino. Of course, I eat Dairy Queen in the car on the way home. I get up.
What's your order?
I don't have one, but last night Hunter got a Blizzard, obviously, with cookie dough and Heath. And I was like, that's the move because I don't really love chocolate. But I found myself just digging through to find the bites of Heath, and there was too much cookie dough. And it's not great cookie dough.
Heath is Heath is like a old person choice.
Yep. But not as old as a Score bar.
What is that even?
Older, I don't know. Growing up, I think my mom would be like, have a Score bar. They're like Heath bars, but I think they're thinner. I want to say it's dark chocolate. You've seen the wrapper. It's black and it says score in red. And I feel like because it's SKOR, I feel like it's like a Swedish, like Skorabar.
Yeah.
Skorabar.
I do think about the fact, and I bet we have talked about this before, just that they haven't introduced a new candy in a while. The last one I can think of is a Take 5. Was like a new big introduction on the scene.
I believe you have your finger on the pulse of what's new in the candy world. And if you say that, then I believe it. I think in the snack world, it's ever evolving. But yeah, there's never like a no new. Like I remember Butterfinger BBs.
Oh, those were good. They stopped making those. Do you think kids choked on them or something?
I don't know. I feel like it's weird because they're like, we're not going to do BBs, but we will do miniature Butterfingers and bite-sized Butterfingers.
Those mini ones suck because they always sell them at movie theaters in a cardboard box.
They taste different.
And they're loose.
Yes.
They're not in a plastic bag. They're just loose in the box, stuck to the cardboard. They are always stale, and there's like 3 in there max.
I can get on board with them being not in the plastic because it's bad for you regardless, and I can be okay with them being stuck together, but they never taste this bad. Oh my God, they never taste the same. Listen, I did this audition today. There's nothing like waking up and putting on like a full face of porn star makeup, like for your like 2-minute audition. My cousin came over. I purged myself of so many baby products because they're having a baby. So that felt great. And then I was like, wow, my baby is with Myrna and sleeping. I've done my work. Should I go like buy a pumpkin or get a pedicure? And then I was like, or I need to record this podcast because I'm flying out tomorrow. By the time you hear this, this will have been done. Monday morning, got to fly to New York to do the Bob Woodruff Foundation. It's a Stand Up for Heroes event with Jon Stewart. So, it's across the country. It's always good to do stuff for our troops who are heroes. Fly home. And then if you're hearing this Wednesday, you're going to see me in Iowa, in Des Moines this weekend. And then in Minnesota, Mystic Lake. And thus will conclude the Back in Action tour.
Oh,
stateside.
Boy.
Yeah, the shirt has got some miles on it. So yeah, this is with my free time, I'm doing this episode and then I'll go look at a treatment for something. And then I'll do Pilates later. Maybe I'll go buy a sandwich. There's no one here to feed me, so I'll probably just have eggs and a banana again. Folks, you got those questions. We got those answers and we're ready for you. We're ready for you.
Hello, everyone at Ask Iliza Anything. I've been listening for a few years and have enjoyed all your valuable advice. I'd love your advice for a situation I'm having with a friend. Let's call my friend Stacy. There's air quotes on both.
Why is quotes on situation? It just is.
For a situation
allegedly.
With a friend. Let's call my friend Stacy. We've been friends since we were 15. I would have called her my best friend for several periods of my life. Over the last few years, I feel like she has put less work into our friendship and made excuses as to why she can't get together. First, it was COVID and due to the health of her mom, who she was still living with. Even then, she made an effort to see me outside or with a mask on. She's been in school for the last 2 years to be an ultrasound tech. She's been almost completely absent, and I haven't seen her in person in a year. The last few times I FaceTimed her, I got no response, so I gave up and decided she was not worth putting my energy into. In less than a month is my 30th birthday, and I decided I would at least invite her. She sent me a text saying she couldn't come because it was the week before finals, but said, and I quote, "We will hang out when she graduates and that she loves and misses me." I was honestly furious because this is my 30th birthday. For context, she has no job or bills, lives with her parents. I don't see why she can't take 3 hours of her time to show her support for my birthday. My roommate is in nursing school and paying her way through nursing school by bartending, and she is taking off work to be there. I'm tired of her excuses. There is no excuse. So you are probably wondering what my question is. What do I say to her? Do I say anything? Nope. What do I do if she texts me happy birthday? My other friend said I should tell her how I feel, but she's one of those people who I don't think is ready to hear the truth. We've been friends half my life. I don't want to throw anything away, but I don't know how to get past this. I appreciate your wisdom and help. Much love.
I mean, look.
People deal with stress differently. She's in nursing school. It's finals week. She'll see you the week after,
or she won't. But I also look. She writes happy birthday to you. Be like, thanks. You just say thanks. This is on you to say something because this is on you to dictate how this friendship's going to go. Only you are suffering. She's just living her life. There is a version where she kind of doesn't want to be your friend. I would let it go. I know you're I don't want to throw away anything, but friendships fizzle out. Maybe you're at different places. You're doing different things. She's just busy. And if you don't make each other's lives easier, nobody wants, especially as we get older, like the friend that you have to like maintain. And there are friends I have who I love, great people, and I just don't have the time. I just don't. And rather than take it personally, you could say something, but she's going to wish you a happy birthday. She's never going to follow up to take you out. Like, it just might mean that you're not as close as you once were, or say something. But she's just going to be like, no, I'm just busy. And you have to just be okay with that. You don't fit into her life.
I do wonder this as someone, I have quote friends like this person where they'll like FaceTime me or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm so busy because I know they just want to talk about themselves and I don't want to deal with it. And I'm wondering, this person's like, oh, this friend, she's really busy with nursing school. She's not answering when I FaceTime her at whatever time I FaceTime her. And she's not coming to my birthday at the time I said, are you a good friend to her? Like, are you asking about her? Or are you just calling to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you don't have to pay for anything. Your parents are paying for your schooling. Oh, like, you sound like you don't like her that much. So why would she want to talk to you?
I mean, let's say everything, like, look, good friendships evolve. Like my best friend and I, like there are times like we don't really talk a ton, and Michelle almost never picks up when I call. But when we do hang out, like it's quality time. And I think a big part of adult friendships is fully realizing how little time the other friend has for you. And you're either okay with it or you're not. So it sounds like the friendship is leaving the station and you have to decide, are you okay with not talking as much? You think you've done something. Like you think it's for a reason. And and you're right. The reason is she's just got other things going on.
Yeah.
So it's worth saying it, and you'll know how to deal with this based on how she reacts. If she's like, oh my God, I don't want to make you feel bad. I've been busy. But the truth is, if she wanted to, she would. I have plenty of friends that I find time to text. Plenty of people reach out and you're just like, I don't feel like answering this.
Yeah.
And it isn't, by the way, it isn't that easy. I understand it's your 30th birthday, but like, especially for like finals, like it's not just 3 hours. Like you've got to get ready. Like that's the whole night. You're probably going to have some drinks. Then you're hungover the next day. Like you're getting out of a rhythm, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a little shitty, but you also haven't been like BFF hanging out all the time lately. So I feel like you're kind of testing her, which is not where you want to be in a friendship. Let it go. And if it comes back to you, if she's your real friend,
say something after finals, after like her finals or whatever. Say like, look, I feel like we haven't been as close now that you're done with school and you're looking like I'd love to spend more time together. Or something, just say something, and then if she's like, ugh, you're done, you're fine.
Yes, exactly. That's very sweet to be like, I know you're busy with finals. Be like, do you want to grab dinner? And if she's like, let me get back to you, she doesn't want to be your friend. Yeah. You'll know by that, but give her the space and let her know. Be like, I just want to give you space. I didn't want to like crowd you. I know how hard nursing school can be. And I've definitely had friends like that are like very sweet. And they're always like, hey, I see that you're done. So did you want to hook up? And I'm like, it feels like you're monitoring my schedule now.
Oh, I hate that. I get stressed about that on social media. I hate when I post something and then someone immediately texts me because they know that I just was like on my phone posting, and I'm like, fuck, I can't pretend now that I'm not looking at my phone. I'm clearly looking at my phone.
That's why you got to move back to LA, because you can always be like, sorry, my phone's messed up.
I know. I actually do have very bad service in my home.
You should literally have a baby just so you can use the baby. I'm sorry, I'm a mother.
People don't have the same sympathy when I say, I have a cat baby. She needs me.
I can't be. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Eliza50 and use code Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Eliza50 at factormeals.com/Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Eliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Eliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
All right, we have an Am I the Asshole from one of our listeners who says, Am I the asshole? I am a 37-year-old female and my sister is 29. Earlier this week, she saw you were doing the Florida Only tour. She's in Central Florida and I'm in Southwest Florida. She texted me the photo of the tour date saying we are going to go to this. And then we proceed to have a conversation about how it makes more sense to go to the Orlando show since we can stay at her place, and which means we can save money by not getting a hotel room and use that money to buy better tickets.
To buy, yes, and merch. Great. Great thinking.
She also said that her non-binary partner would likely be attending. Side note, she has been dating this person for over a year and no one in my family has met them yet. So yesterday, I bought the three of us tickets for the Orlando show. Pretty good seats, in my opinion. I told her, no rush, just throw me some bones when it gets closer to the date. I totally didn't even expect to be fully reimbursed. I'm in a much better place financially than my sister. This morning, she texted me that she spoke to her partner and that she forgot they were going to her partner's sister's wedding the same weekend as the Orlando show and will be driving out of town that day. My sister and I are supposed to have a fun weekend soon for her 30th birthday. Everybody's turning 30. I don't want to ruin it over having a fight on this issue, but I told her I was frustrated that she said we were definitively going instead of taking the time to look up her schedule or talk to her partner before saying such a thing. She responded that she told me as soon as she knew and that she was just excited when she saw you were coming here. I told her she needs to be more meticulous with her words and that she is almost 30, so she can't just use her excitement as an excuse for inviting me to something that she wasn't actually available for. I told her I'll figure something out with the tickets, but I was done talking to her about it. Am I the asshole for surprising her with tickets to your show after she told me we are going to go to this? More context. My sister and her partner recently split and got back together. Also, her partner's family does not accept her partner for being gay, and I assume for being non-binary as well, and blames my sister for being a bad influence, so she'll be in a hostile environment that weekend.
The non-binary's family blames your sister?
For turning the non-binary person gay with the sister. And
Okay,
the non-binary person is bringing the sister to a wedding in that family. Okay, here's
Well, that has nothing to do with anything.
Well,
that has nothing to do with anything.
So it's not like the sister's doing something fun that weekend instead. Here's what I will say. I am very cautious when I buy tickets for anything with anyone else. I would not have taken your sister at face value when she said her and her partner could go. I'd be like, hey, does your partner still want to come? Did you run it by them before I bought tickets? Rather than if it was just the sister, maybe. But it's not your fault. But this is just a lesson. You're not the asshole.
You're not the asshole at all. Plus, your sister was like, we're going. And clearly you've lived a life with this woman that suggests that, you didn't do it. And you're like, I'm so used to you bailing. Like, obviously behavior in her past led you to believe like, yeah, we're all going to go.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it matters that this person is non-binary at all.
No.
But I think what you're irked by is that you haven't even met this person. And it feels like your sister's kind of like keeping them at arm's length. In addition, you're like, not only have we met this partner of yours, we don't have a relationship, and now you're ditching me to go to some like bullshit wedding, and what's being doubted here is the temerity of their love. That's your issue, is that you're like, who the fuck is this person that we don't even know that's taking precedent over me?
Especially when you were like, hey, us sisters are going to do a sister thing. And your sister's like, well, my partner wants to come too. So you bought 2 extra tickets. Now you have to eat the cost of 2 more tickets rather than 1. I would be very annoyed by that.
And I also, I don't like when it's like, you invite someone, they're like, great, let me bring Gary. Let me bring my girlfriend. Let me bring my boyfriend. You're like, I don't know why. Like, I love my husband so much. And I don't ever feel like, oh, and Noah too, right?
No.
Like, you invited me to get a Chinese chair massage. Like, why would I bring Noah? So that's annoying because you're like, who the fuck is this person? So that's what's bothering you. And you're like, okay, fine, you owe me for these things. And it's like a weird excuse. And you're like, oh, you went and talked to your non-binary partner who said you have to go to this shitty wedding. Oh, that's convenient. Like, you're annoyed that you're annoyed at a lot of things, least of which happens to be these tickets.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I can tell by your wording. So I would say all this. You'll find someone else to go with. But the truth is, and she should appreciate this, you were looking forward to hanging out with your sister. And you were willing to take her with her weird partner who she never felt the need to introduce anyone to. That's how badly you want to see her.
With. Who they have broken up and gotten back together. You were going to go out to your sister's. But, you know what I just realized? Here's the other piece of this. She was going to go to the show in Orlando so that they could stay at her sister's house and not get a hotel. And that's why they spent more on tickets. So where does she stay now? Your sister going to leave you a spare key, or are you out of luck?
She should.
She should.
She should be like, I'm coming with some friends. Yeah. So your sister's got some splaining to do.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And make her pay you back. Fuck her.
I don't know. See if you can find someone else to go.
See if you can find someone else. All right.
But she should let you stay there.
But you're not the asshole.
No.
But you are the asshole because you're the asshole in that, like, you need to explain your feelings because it's not about the tickets. This is like, I want to spend time with you, and you've got this like shady partner that all of a sudden means so much, even though none of us have met this person who now seems like a piece of shit.
Why is the sister even being brought to this wedding where it's going to be such a problem?
I mean, clearly this person just wants like a rock, which I totally get, but it's like, okay, or just don't have your fucking +1.
Yeah.
They're so weird about being alone.
Hello, my beloved AIA friends. You can call me S. Long time, first time here in need of help from the majesties of great advice. I work with a couple who we will call Molly and Buttface. They've been together for over 5 years and live together. We all work at a well-known, friendly neighborhood grocery store chain with Hawaiian shirts. You know the one. We all work basically the same shifts and have known each other for a very long time outside of work as well. Molly discovered that Buttface has been having an emotional text affair with a robot girlfriend. He apparently spends a lot of time texting this bot on an app throughout the day, getting all the emotional attachment he seemingly isn't getting from Molly. She was crushed by this news, and when she confronted Buttface, he didn't deny it. He blamed her for making him use it, saying that he wasn't getting his needs met from her emotionally or physically, and that it was her fault that he was going elsewhere. He implied that he doesn't love Molly as much anymore, but won't leave because he cares about her still. He blamed everything bad in their relationship on her, said she shouldn't be jealous of an app, but didn't answer if he would still be using it. After their fight, things went basically back to normal. Molly has said to me she wants to leave Buttface, but needs to ready herself to do so. She doesn't have family in the state or a lot of friends outside of work to rely on. I will support her no matter what and, of course, want what's best for her, but it's all her decision to make. My question: how do I deal with Buttface now? He doesn't know I know all of this, and we still all work together. Every time I see him, I'm a mixture of angry and disgusted. It's especially hard to see them acting normal and loving to each other. I don't want him to know I know. That would probably lead to more fights between him and Molly, but I don't want to be anywhere near him. I hate talking to him now. He's hard to escape from at work because we work a lot of the same days and hours. How do I move forward with this guy while knowing that he's just another gross-ass male letdown? Do I forget it and let Molly lead by example? Do I subtly mock him forever, grin and bear it? Completely cutting him out would be an issue because up until this point we were close friends, so drama would ensue. Help, what do I do? Thank you. So happy for both you ladies and your thriving lives. Much love and tasty times S.
I feel like it's tough because you are close. This is not your secret to keep. And I think it's actually weirdly worse that you do know what he did, quote unquote, wrong, and he doesn't know that you know that. And so you're just like talking. I think that's duplicitous. I think you should not be stressed out about this. This is not your relationship. This is not your garbage. Pull him aside and be like, say to him like, hey, I know you and Molly are kind of going through some trouble. Like, I know you're mad at him, but it's kind of not for you to judge because you don't know. It's shitty of him to blame her. Like, he's being shitty, but it does take two to tango. You don't know what that relationship is like. And just be like, I'm just kind of uncomfortable. So I'm just like putting that out there. Like, I do love both of you guys and it is your business and not mine. So I just want you to know that like we're at work and I'm going to do my best.
Sounds like
but there's no reason for you to like sit on this. Okay, then fucking be like, dude, I found out about that. Like, I choose Molly's side all day, every day.
I think she's right to be like, take Molly's lead. If Molly is like, just be fine with it. He's your coworker. Do you know how many coworkers people don't like that they have to see every day?
No, but they're close. So it's going to be you like retracting that closeness versus like someone you could just keep at arm's length. But, you know, men tend to not notice when a woman's uncomfortable anyway. So like, hey, good morning, Kirk. Okay, bye. And if he says anything, just be like, I know you guys are going through a breakup and I know enough about it that like, I'm just trying to be cool to both of you. Like, just say as little as possible.
Yeah. When he's like, oh, those peppermint JoJo's, huh? You can just be like, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love peppermint JoJo's. I love, who did this beautiful chalkboard art? Is that you, Scran? Talk to Molly, but like, this definitely is not your burden.
No.
Can you get transferred to the produce section? The shitty produce section?
Is that the bad part, do you think? That's where
Yeah. They have really bad produce.
Huh.
Really fun. I don't even shop at Trader Joe's, but I do enjoy watching social media accounts that are like, what's new at Trader Joe's? This pumpkin gnocchi will set your fucking loins on fire. DM me for details.
I saw something that I hadn't even thought about. There was some like trend on Twitter where they were talking about it's only for snacks. Like you go there for you don't go get a full like household's worth of groceries at a Trader Joe's. You go get some like JoJo's and like a weird pot sticker and like, you know
what it's good for? When you're in your 20s and you like want to entertain, you could buy like frozen appetizers. You're like, it's a caramelized flatbread with queso bianco. Oh yeah, tasty. Look, crab rangoon for 2. and juice. All right.
And juice. So my best friend and I met in college 9 years ago and formed a super strong bond immediately. We call each other our soul sisters. She started dating a guy a couple months after we met, dropped out of school, and moved back home to be with him. They got pregnant almost immediately, ended up having a baby, getting pregnant again, getting married, then having another baby. They named me as their kid's non-religious godmother and even named the third one after me. During
Jesus.
their first pregnancy, they moved states, so our friendship has always been long distance, but always seemed to keep us close. All during the last 9 years, her husband has always had an issue with me because he believes we had some sort of romantic relationship before they met. We didn't at all. And he also believes that family is only blood and is uncomfortable with how close we are. She doesn't.
Oh. He thinks you and the girl. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like he was delusional about how close
sorry. Yeah, no.
Got it.
The two friends.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, that's weird.
She doesn't have any family, and I'm the closest thing to a sister she has. We've always battled this with him, but still remain close and just try to navigate his feelings about me and my partner as well. He's always been a very controlling person, never allowing her to do anything without him, and that caused many issues. Fast forward to this summer, I was getting married and they finally moved back to the same state I am in. She was my matron of honor and they were finally able to attend the wedding. This was the first time she'd ever been to my home and met my extended family. She wasn't able to attend my spa day bachelorette party except for the brunch afterwards because he wouldn't allow her to. During my rehearsal dinner at my home, her husband got completely trashed and started making a fool of himself, being very touchy-feely and kissing everyone, even though he didn't know them, like my grandmother, for instance. He was being loud, obnoxious, and inappropriate the rest of the evening. It got to a point that he was making my 11-year-old niece and stepdaughter both so uncomfortable, they started to get emotional. My daughter doesn't show emotions, and at one point I looked at her and she just broke down crying in my arms, telling me she's uncomfortable. I got really annoyed at this point because there should never be a reason for my daughter to feel uncomfortable in her own home and for her to be crying. She was really upset. I said he wasn't allowed in the house anymore that night and he needed to go to the trailer that they were staying in on our property and go to bed. He refused and just kept being loud and belligerent. Multiple times in the night, he got violent with my husband, who I applaud for keeping his cool the whole time and not reacting in the way I know he wanted to. He got violent with me, which caused my husband, my sister, and my other best friend, both bridesmaids, also to go into protective mode. And he got violent with them as well and refused to call it a night. It's well past
that's it,
midnight
Emily.
at this
It's
point.
ruined.
I was looking at the
Okay.
word point up ahead. My best friend, his wife, is bawling her eyes out saying she's ruining my wedding and she shouldn't have come and she hates him and isn't going to deal with it anymore, as well as yelling all this at him throughout the night. The final kicker was when he punched her in the head. We finally got him to leave after that. She did attend my wedding ceremony the next day, but leaves immediately after because she needed to get herself, her kids, and her trailer back home, and she'd asked someone to come get her, and he left in their truck, stranding them at my place. She tells him she wants a divorce, and they spend some time apart, takes off her ring, and makes other living arrangements. During this time, she says things to me like, I've just been waiting for him to hit me or cheat on me so I could finally leave. I finally feel free. I feel like I can do and like all the things in my life again. I don't have to have an issue with your husband or dog anymore because I actually really like them. And thank you for always sticking around and being there for me when I know he's made it so difficult to deal with. Fast forward a few weeks. She tells me they're going to counseling and working on bettering their relationship.
Of course.
I personally don't support this, but I told her I support her doing what she feels is right for her family because I know my opinions aren't going to persuade her in either direction. After a long period of silence and ignoring me, she finally sent me a text saying that she needed space from me and that she doesn't feel like we could ever be close or have a friendship again after what happened that night. She said that although her husband is partially to blame for what happened, she thinks everyone else's reactions to his behavior were uncalled for. I know.
It's like, no, God. Okay.
I know in my heart that everyone was looking out for myself, my husband, and all of the kids that were present, and I don't think they were uncalled for. It was my wedding weekend at my house, my daughter that was in tears, and all of my family around to witness and have to deal with it and wanting to protect all of those things. He didn't ruin my wedding, but it did put a damper on it for sure. I lost all my respect for him that night, but still accept my best friend. He's my best friend's husband and father to her children. He also has not attempted to apologize to me and my husband in any way, and it's been 4 months. I also
we
know,
saw that coming.
Yeah, I know if that table was overturned and it was my husband acting this way at her home, she would be livid and would write him off and me potentially immediately, or the situation would have been more violent than it was. So I guess with all of that information, my question is, what do I do from here? I'm okay to give her space, and I have, without being defensive and trying to explain how much she's in the wrong with this whole situation. I don't feel like I deserve this as I've done nothing wrong ever in our friendship. Do I just move forward with life, assuming this friendship is dead, and remove her from my socials so I don't have to see anything and vice versa? Do I leave things be for a bit and give her space, let time heal and see what future holds? Do I write her to some way to explain my feelings about it and see if that helps the situation? Thanks in advance. Okay, so important context here. This question was first sent in, let me scroll all the way back up.
Oh, sorry, we're really busy at headquarters.
October 2021.
Okay. Oh no, Emily.
Okay. Hold on.
Emily,
hold on.
You're fired.
But this person, has bumped it back up on the thread this past Friday. So this was written in October, 4 months out. This person has the same
This is a year
question.
ago. So what have you been doing this whole time is my question.
All the other questions.
No, not you.
Oh, this person. I was like,
You with your life, Emily.
My best. I didn't get to this question,
Like,
honestly, because it was very long. And I was like, Liza doesn't want to sit through
I got a day job and a mortgage. From the person who wrote this, I would like to know what you've been doing thus far. And the answer is probably keep doing that. Your friend has Stockholm Syndrome. I was completely out on this person when you said he punched her in the head. This is battered wife syndrome. This girl is that's definitely not the last time he hit her. And I feel so bad for your friend. However, this guy, it has jealousy issues, making up the relationship with you guys and being super controlling. You have no room for this person in your life and you can't help her. Again, it's not your sister. You can't help her beyond what she wants. And so what you could do is write a letter where you detail every single thing. And you could even CC both of them. However, I feel like then this poor girl has to just deal with this fucking lunatic on her own. You could just say, I'm sorry you feel that way. I love you and I'm here for you when you're ready.
Yeah.
And I would unfollow everything. You don't need their energy. It's unfortunate and it's sad. It'd be nice if she had someone you could reach out to be like this, but you can't force her to get help. And unfortunately, it's going to take the fact that she was like, I was waiting for him to hit me, which by the way, is not grounds for a divorce. Like it's a he said, she said. No, I didn't hit her. Like I was waiting for him to hit on me or cheat on me. And by the way, cheating on you is not illegal. So she was just the fact that she was waiting for that.
She wanted an excuse.
An excuse, but you already have, like, if you need an excuse, then you already have one. So all you can do is look out for yourself. This person is so fucking toxic. And your friend will probably stay with him for a very long time or he'll do something horrible. And that's unfortunate. But especially as a woman, like you never need to feel physically afraid. I definitely understand that feeling of like, this guy makes me feel uncomfortable and people just tolerate him. So what's the best case scenario? They go to therapy and he's like a little less weird for a little bit. And then every time you see him, you're uncomfortable. You don't fucking deserve it.
I mean, this man
so
was such
just release it.
He's such an ogre. He comes into your house. Children are screaming and crying. He gets violent with 15 different people. Like that's almost comically the worst someone could possibly behave.
I mean, you could literally isolate just one of the myriad of things and that would be enough. So we're done. You love your friend. And if you wanted to be gangster about it, you could be like, when he tries to murder you, call me. But you don't want to be there for her while she's in this. You can't, because all that will happen is she will start blaming you. You will be the scapegoat. You will feel like shit. You will feel unsafe. So you have to let it go. Your husband will agree with me.
She's going to keep picking him. But yeah, I think Eliza's right in that it's like, make it known you are here. You're not changing your number. You're not blocking her. If she decides that you two can have a friendship, you are there. But, as of now, you can't. This man assaulted you and all your family members and kissed grandma. Like, you're not putting up with that.
That's it. Forget it. So you need to do what's right for you. You've tried. You've been there. Your friend does not even have your back. Like, you were there for her when she was ready to leave him. Everybody, and sure, like, there's counseling and then there's counseling. This guy's not going to change. This guy is awful and it is like clinical and insidious and you are not married to him. He's occupied enough real estate in your brain.
Yeah.
And anything else that anyone wants to say, they can come talk to your husband.
Stop. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's because now we're a year and 4 months.
Oh my God, here's what you do.
Incident.
You send him a text from an anonymous number and say, by the way, I did fuck her. That'll send him into a tailspin.
I worry what He'll kill her.
He will wreck his Ford Fiesta.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Okay, now
Now we do
AITA
it.
on AIA. All right.
Give it to me good. Give it to me good.
AITA for having a photo of my son's DNA test framed and hanging in the living room. I, male 32, met my wife 3 years ago. We got married 9 months ago. We have a baby boy together that she got pregnant with while we were engaged. My wife used to be a sex worker. No judgment on that, please. She did what she had to do to survive. My parents were always skeptical about her and lots of time asked if I wanted to settle down with her. When she got pregnant, they went nuts and demanded a DNA test. They refused to attend the wedding till the DNA test was done, which caused a huge problem. They ended up missing the wedding. The test was done because my wife wanted to prove a point. And eventually my parents made amends and we reconciled. They started visiting and yesterday noticed the photo of the DNA test that I hang in the living room. They asked about it, and I told that it serves as a reminder for why they didn't attend my wedding. They were stunned and livid when I mentioned that I tell any guest the same thing I told them. Mom and Dad were mad and asked me repeatedly to take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past as well as embarrassing them to other family members. I refused to take it down. I admit being sarcastic in my response, saying it goes with the house decor. They begged, then refused to come over anymore till I remove it. My brother thinks it's petty and childish and said I should take it down. And then this person added, all right, I'm editing some stuff in, which means that the Reddit commenters were fighting with him. So he decided to add context.
Oh, okay.
First of all, my wife does not mind having the photo up. She laughs about it sometimes, but she's still carrying some hurt all that was caused by what happened. And second of all, she no longer does sex work. It's all in the past. And did I mention that my brother and I aren't close? He's known as a crackhead in the family. So that's that.
No, none of this matters.
No.
It is childish. You are the asshole.
Yeah.
You are the asshole. And by the way, let's not all pretend like this attitude. First of all, the term sex worker was never a ubiquitous term until recently. And with all the changes that are happening in our society and more open-mindedness, people are demanded overnight. Like, you better fucking figure this out and accept it. Sex work is work, but it was within a lifetime that people were making like hooker jokes and prostitute jokes and call girl jokes, okay? So it took society a very long time to realize like, hey, this is a job that people do. These aren't just like horny women on the loose. So you'll forgive your parents for not like recalibrating their brains instantly. And given that it is sex and they don't know the girl, and like, I'm sorry, not all sex workers, not all people are safe with sex. And so it's shitty that they want a DNA test, because if she was just some girl from his office, they may not, or they may have. I don't know what this guy is like. You clearly didn't do a good job of like representing her. And so it's shitty because here they are, they've apologized, they've reconciled. And well, what more do you need to move on? Like, they made a mistake and they tried and they got over it, and now you're all one happy family. So why do this? Like, you just sound kind of like a turd.
Well, that's the thing. Look, the parents are assholes, and that's totally unacceptable. They didn't go to their kid's wedding because they were basically like, your wife's a whore. But that's a separate issue from you hanging in your home and anyone who asks, everyone's going to ask.
Going out of
Everyone's
your
going
way.
to see it and be like, what is that? So you can what? Dunk on your parents to strangers? That's so
Dunk on your parents.
weird.
Also, like, it still kind of makes your wife, like, that's got to be a little, like,
she's like,
it makes the whole thing indelicate. Like, there's a child that was born. This is your kid. And you're like, yeah, my wife fucked a lot of dudes. So we just want, like, it's not nice. It's a weird aura.
The fact she took the test to be like, no, look, this is, we're in love. This is our kid. I only had sex with him. And now you're trotting it out as this weird, like, party trick. Like,
I'm sorry. Also, like, let's say you work with infectious diseases. Let's say you work in a leper colony. It's not unreasonable when you come home from you to be like, is it possible you contracted leprosy? You're like, no, I'm really safe. I'm like, well, a couple of your colleagues got leprosy. No, I promise I'm really safe. This woman's currency is having sex. So there is a chance that she's having sex with enough people that something else happens. So I don't know. Did you say, Mom, she doesn't have sex with them? She only does X, Y, and Z. Is she, how did you pitch this? No, I don't. I'm saying it's not unreasonable to be like, let's just make sure. How did this woman come off? How did you pitch her? Is she an escort?
She isn't anymore. She used to. Not while they were together.
Oh. Well, that's fucked up then.
So that's just like, that's what she did,
Sorry.
let's say 5 years ago. And they're
Yes,
like,
that's
is that
incredibly
kid
shitty.
yours?
That is shitty. Sorry. I'm saying it's okay that your parents at first blush were like, wow, we're not thrilled about that. If she was doing this sex work while you were dating, possibly at the time of conception, it's fair that they might think that. However, if she had stopped doing that and it was way in the past, then it's bigoted and unfair.
Yes.
So my whole point about the leprosy thing is like, if you work in this environment, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like maybe it's not saying she's not careful or she's not healthy or clean or safe. People who don't do sex work accidentally get pregnant or all the time. So I think we need more clarification on the timeline. That being said, regardless of all of it, you got the DNA test. It's done. They've apologized. They'd like to be with their family now. You're being a turd.
Yeah, I mean, if they're coming over the house and they're still like rude to her, that's one thing. But if they're acting fine, you decide to forgive them. Having that picture up is so aggressive.
You are making it impossible for you guys to be whole and fully healed. And you know what I also do not want is people DMing like, I am a sex worker and I'm safe. We need to stop in our society and in comedy. Like just because something doesn't apply to you doesn't mean it can be safe. So you're telling me no sex worker ever, no human has ever accidentally gotten pregnant or contracted an STD. So it's not unrealistic to be like, well, this makes me nervous, but this is what DNA tests are for.
Yeah.
And you clearly did not represent her in a way that would make them feel more comfortable.
Well, any DNA
I don't
test
know.
should be between you two and not either of your sets of parents.
I think there's part of you that wants people to know, yes, she used to be a sex worker, but like we're cool. Like by putting that up there, it's always a topic of conversation. You're like, I'm letting you know I'm so cool with it that I'm even willing to talk about it, which you don't need to do because you don't need to fucking explain yourself to anyone. They're in your home. They're clearly cool with being your friend.
Would I be the asshole if I refused to cook the roast more than medium rare? Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and my wife and I, 27 female, 29 male, are making plans to host our family. I'm doing the bulk of the cooking, including a rib roast. I'm excited.
Why?
Since it's one of my
Why?
favorite dishes, and I much
Why?
prefer it to turkey.
What? No, have the turkey. Be miserable like everyone else.
We've been fortunate this year to be able to afford a good one. I plan on cooking it to a medium rare temperature since that's what I and most people in general prefer, and objectively, it's juicier and more tender that way. My wife is annoyed by this and says I should make it medium well or well done, since her and her parents don't like it bloody. That's not blood, but whatever. I told her that they can eat the end slices, which tend to be more cooked than the bulk of the roast. And if that's still too bloody, they can nuke their pieces after it's cut. I think this makes perfect sense. Obviously, if I were making steaks, each one could be made to the preferred doneness of each person. But this is one expensive piece of meat, and I don't want to ruin all of it when the solution is clear. You can always cook a piece more. You can't uncook it. Would I be the asshole? My wife says I am, and this is my way of imposing my pretentious preferences onto everyone at Thanksgiving.
I always cringe when a man asks a question and like the woman is dumb. Like, my feminism is not about like women are always right, but it always bothers me when girls do the dumb thing or are just like obstinate. It's okay if you have bad taste and you like your steak well done, but he's absolutely right. You can't like uncook a steak. It does taste better that way. You can eat the ends and you can cook it more after. And he's right. An expensive piece. Like, why don't you just eat a fucking hamburger patty then? He's right and she's dumb.
I really got that last sentence contextualized it for me where it says, my wife says, this is my way of imposing my pretentious preferences on everyone. This is probably a guy that's always talking about cooking a good piece of meat and like a rub. And she's like, can we just have a turkey? My family is coming. And he's like, I bought an expensive piece of rib roast and I'm going to spend the next 6 days working on it. And she's like, that's not good for the 30 people coming over. Like, it just...
Look, if they all want rib roast, that's okay. I mean, if that's what your weird carnivorous family wants to have. But if you're going to buy something, at least make the right version of it. I mean, maybe you can compromise with medium, but if the bulk of the people there want it that way and you can cook your own, you could slice off some pieces and just cook them a little bit better. So she's wrong.
Yeah.
It always makes me cringe when like a woman is like young and like, because I've definitely been that girlfriend where like you're steadfast and then looking back, you're like, whoops, I was wrong. And maybe you are a snob, but you happen to be right about this. So not the asshole, but you might be an asshole in real life.
That's a thing. Yeah. This comment, somebody said, if this is an expensive cut of meat that only you will enjoy the way you plan to prepare it, why in the world are you wasting it on a day in which your guests will have to stand in line microwaving their plates one by one?
Well, that's the other thing. And it also may not be that. It could be like 2 people. Like big fucking deal. I don't know. I think it's weird. We're all supposed to have the turkey. That was the agreed thing. That's the whole point. Why not then save it for Christmas? I don't know. It's weird.
Just eat that rib roast by yourself.
You go to a Thanksgiving where everyone gets their own individual steak. That's bizarre. Everyone gets their own T-bone.
All right, back to
regular time.
Back to regular. I have a friend that I have considered one of my BFFs since middle school. Lately, I've realized she might not be a great friend. I invited her on a trip I was planning and she said she wanted to come. I booked an Airbnb and then I didn't hear from her. I texted her asking if she was still coming and nothing. I let it go and took the loss on her part of the Airbnb, water under the bridge.
Is it 2 of them or a group?
She's not specifying, but it must be a group or it's like, I think you'd be more mad if you planned a getaway for 2 and then it was just you alone.
It's a romantic cabin getaway for 2, so I just went alone and I ate my steak rare.
Let it go, took the loss on her part of the Airbnb, water under the bridge. I found out she was talking to people about my custody situation, like things she never talked to me about first, so she had it all wrong. Also, in the past, when she calls, I answer her text right away, but when I text her, nothing. I don't even bother reaching out to her anymore because she doesn't respond. I kind of just feel done with the friendship. She's great when we're together, but I just feel like she's being really unrealizable, what could that word be? It says unrealizable.
Unreliable?
That's what it must be. I feel like she's been really... It says unrealizable.
Now you're shaming her for not typing.
No, I'm not. I'm going to cut this.
Some people have extra thumbs. No, leave it. Leave it.
Okay, she's being unreliable and talking behind my back about custody was what pushed me over the edge. I don't know if I should address it or just let it go. Oh no. She did a follow-up message. Unreliable. Sorry. I am falling apart today. Okay. This is the same as the other friend.
Friendship's over. You are at a fork in the road. You take this person to coffee. I don't know why you want to be friends with someone who was like talking shit behind your back. Take her to coffee and you say, I found out you were saying these things. I want to clarify these things, but also, is there something you want to talk to me about? And also say, I feel like I text you and you do this. And when you text me this, it doesn't sound like a great friendship. And it sounds like she's kind of making you into like this weird enemy in her head and only using you when she needs to. So you have the option, get it out in the open or just move away from this friendship.
Well,
that's it.
And again, like the sisters, it never hurts to get more details. So if you say, hey, do you want to go on this trip? And she says, sure. You ask one more time before you put down the money on the Airbnb. You say, hey, it's going to be X number of dollars. I'm booking it tomorrow. Let me know if that's a problem.
It's just weird that she stopped talking to you. And like, did you get any closure on that? this person's not respecting you and they're like spreading rumors about you. I think you're not friends anymore. And I'm here to tell you that you're not friends anymore. No one told you.
Sorry.
We're so sorry. But, let us know.
Yeah. Hi, AIA crew. This is not the question I ever thought I would ask you
No one
guys.
ever lets us know, by the way. No one ever lets us know. No one ever follows up.
I honestly think we're going to have to reorganize the system and have them email instead of DMing, because the DMs, the follow-ups, it's hard to follow. So I'll work, everyone,
Maybe
for the new year, I'll work on a new system so that you could send us follow-ups, okay?
Maybe it's like an emoji-based thing, like you send a ice cream cone when it's a follow-up. And also, I feel like we raise these babies and then they never come home to roost.
No, I think if we go email, there's threads, and that'll be easier than these DM conversations. Okay. Hi, AI crew.
All right.
This is not the question I ever thought I would ask you guys. Over the years, my neighbors and I have developed this great little community where our kids all play and the adults hang out. We usually invite everyone on the block to stop by for any events or parties. There is one family down at the end that doesn't usually join in but is around sometimes. The dad has always been a bit weird. On Halloween night, the whole crew gathered for trick-or-treating. This family and dad were there too. The school where I work wanted all the teachers to wear Phillies-themed costumes, so I made a cardboard cutout of home plate as my costume. While trick-or-treating, I got separated from the crew because I was waiting for my older brother and his son. This dad was in front of us with his family. He suddenly turned around and walked towards me as I was standing on the sidewalk alone watching my nephew. He walked right next to me and touched my costume right at my breast height and whispered in my ear, "Touch home." He then kept walking.
Oh no.
By the time I realized what had happened, he was 5 houses back and my nephew was moving on. I felt so gross the rest of the night. I didn't see him the rest of the night, but I did see his wife and kids. My question is, how do I handle seeing this guy and his family around our community? I'm not going to avoid any of our neighborhood events because thanks to listening to the pod over the years, I know I didn't do anything wrong. I'm also not afraid of this guy, but I'm nervous of what he might try next. Thanks so much, Brittany.
I am not believing you, but when I think of home plate, it's just a flat, what is it, a hexagon? There's one,
It
two,
looks
three,
like a
four,
house.
5 sides. No, I know what it looks like. I'm saying it's a hexagon. There's 5 sides. I know what home plate looks like. So and I picture you in almost like a giant cardboard cutout sandwich board, so your surface is totally flat.
I was
Like I imagine your face cut out and a giant piece of cardboard. So I'm just wondering, like, touch home, like men make the dumbest, creepiest, sexually inappropriate thing, like comments, and my husband doesn't, and none of the men that I'm friends with. A lot of men are just fucking weirdos. And I'm not the girl that's like, it's toothless, but it's like, what are you going to do? Like, did he touch a piece of cardboard, or like, was it like a t-shirt and you could see your breast? Because if it's just a piece of cardboard, he might have just touched where his arm is because he's taller than you. I need to know what that costume looked like. I do, because it's one sexual harassment and one is just some guy being really tone deaf.
Yeah. Well, and then this guy never hangs out with you. He's like weird. It is weird that he turned around, walked up to you, whispered, then walked away. Like, that's just so weird.
He saw your home plate. He was like, Richard, do it now. You've got a funny joke to say. Do it. Be the hit of the ball. There's nothing for you to do, but stay clear of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you already said he was weird. I wonder what else made you think he was weird. But next time you see him, maybe he won't be weird next time. Maybe he was drunk. Or maybe it's just someone you steer clear of because you don't need to know this person. They already are really not in your life. So now you're worrying about how you're going to handle someone that you barely see anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure to tell everyone. That way he gets treated like the pariah he is.
Honestly, yeah, I was thinking, like, tell some of the other women in the neighborhood, like, hey, Suzanne, this is so weird. I had this weird experience with him and I couldn't tell if he was joking or not. Have you ever had an experience like that with him?
Also, again, if the costume was just like flat cardboard,
it might have just been like a tap at chest height.
Yeah.
But
he just unfortunately, we have to allow for a lot of people, but a lot of like older men just having bad senses of humor, like saying dumb, creepy, weird shit. And you're like, do you have a woman in your life that's regulating this? And sometimes they don't, and they get weird.
I wonder if he went back to his wife,
it,
like, I did my baseball joke. Remember, we saw her home plate and I was going to say, touch
remember,
home. And I don't know what that means. I thought it was like,
Remember we rehearsed it, Susan? Remember I said I was going to do it and I did it. I did it. Touch my dick.
But also it's like I defer to this question asker of if it felt like it was inappropriate. But I think this guy.
I feel bad because I'm basically like, what were you wearing? But in this case, I really do think it matters.
I think so. But also if she felt like, no, he was doing it. So he like whispered in my ear, like maybe he gave it a little lick. Like, you know, it was.
Was it home plate, but you had 2 holes cut out for your breasts?
And they
you're
were
like,
painted
just like
baseballs.
Just like every baseball player, I'm a regular diamond gal. All right.
Okay, this I just think is interesting. Hey, AIA crew, not a question, just a comment. I'm listening to the annoying court episode, and I'm so annoyed and angry at AT&T over the cut utility line. Okay, so Iliza, we got a lot of DMs about this cut utility line situation. And remember, the question asker was being asked to pay thousands of dollars for the time it took people, AT&T, to come out and replace this. So this person says, I work in geotechnical engineering, and everything we do involves excavations and a public utility ticket via 811. Every state is different. But in North Carolina law, the contractor is responsible for calling in a ticket, and they are the responsible party for any damages. It's always good practice to submit a ticket of your own, too, but submit it with the contract company as a subcontractor performing the work. Also, AT&T is out of their mind if they're saying you're responsible for the labor cost in addition to the damages. Isn't that supposed to be their entire job to install and fix utilities? Yep. What else are they doing that's so important that they get to charge double for labor that they're already supposed to be doing? Anyway, I feel very strongly about underground utility safety as I have hit a gas line that was improperly marked and wanted to stress the importance of call before you dig. Loved seeing you in Charlotte and listening to you all on the pod makes the workdays go by faster in the best way. P.S. My name is Sierra Marie, and I was named for the Latin term my parents coined, meaning little one of the mountain. And I love that me and your sweet baby girl share that fantastic name choice.
I love that. And I have to say, you could have hit someone with your car and you should still blame a mega corporation. So I appreciate that. User info. And for the person that wrote in initially, let us know what happened. But I said that's on your contractor.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting. It's everybody listening is a nurse or a utility line contractor.
Yeah. Everybody.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
My top of the cob is my favorite time in the creative process is after I've recorded a special when I do my live shows because I'm the freest. I'm not beholden to a structure or an outline or like trying to polish it. And you get so much fun improv out of it. And I played Yamava Casino last night. Beautiful stage, beautiful theater, beautiful lighting setup. And I would say the show was like 40% improv. And I had the best time just being loose and like really enjoying stand-up. So I love that part. Like right before you get back to work, just getting to do your favorite parts of jokes and do new jokes. And so that should answer your question. A lot of people are like, if I saw your special, should I still come see you? There's only 2 shows left stateside to come see me. But just know this, in my career, no one has ever complained that they saw the special and saw me. And it was the same. So come on out.
I feel like also
like you might hear some jokes, but it's going to be different. Some of the same jokes, but it'll be different.
When this show started, we would answer that question all the time because we were trying to like hammer it in.
We still get it.
We still get it, but we're like, we've answered it enough times.
Yeah. So that's that. Anyway, so I had a great time last night and got to do what comics do. I had a good time.
Oh boy. My top of the cob is, okay, I hate tea. It's like flavored water. I don't like it. I don't like La Croix. I don't like any flavored water. I think it's all bad. You know what's been a surprising delight during my tooth journey? A nice warm cup of water with salt in it. I'm having a good, I'm swishing it around. And I'm like, this is like a snack. Since it was when I couldn't eat the food, like when I couldn't eat foods, I feel like soft foods are often very like, it's like pudding and jello and you know what I mean? And I was like swishing salt water. Like, this is fun.
The most anorexic thing I've ever heard.
I just did it this morning too because they were like, keep doing it to keep them clean. And I'm like, oh, my little treat.
Like, if you just smell the cake, you don't have to eat it. I got fat from smelling it. My bottom of the cob is, what the hell does this say? Oh, why are we funneled in like livestock at a drive-thru?
Oh,
I understand. I don't think it's about not letting people cut in. I think it's about not letting people out. And I could understand once you've ordered, but you pay and then you get the food. So it's not like you're going to get anything for free. I think it's really unsafe. Like they always put up barricades and cement and you're just like, I'm sorry, why am I why do I have to, if I made a rash decision to get some fries, like why do I have to commit to this once somebody gets in line behind me? Why can't I leave?
I mean, one of my greatest fears is to pull in and then realize I don't have my wallet.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like someone goes on a killing spree
there-
and you can't get out of the fucking Hardee's.
That McDonald's that is at Laurel Canyon and Crescent by all the comedy
Closed.
clubs, you have to go
Closed.
underground.
They closed it because someone died.
What? No, they didn't.
No, they just closed it.
But you know what I'm talking about. You never went in there, did you? You weren't going to McDonald's.
I have been in there.
And it is
underground.
It's indoor. Like you're driving into a tunnel. It's so upsetting.
It's not underground, but it is a tunnel. And it's just like, I don't like being treated like cattle. It's so, then every time, go look at a drive-thru. They're so constricting and restrictive and it's unnecessary. And it's done so that you can't rethink eating that garbage. You're like, well, we got you. And if anybody else joins in line, we've all been there where you're like, I can't get out. There's a guy behind me now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll get a small McFlurry.
What drive-thru were you in?
BQ after the
Oh,
gig.
right. I was like, when's the last time you were in a drive-thru? Yeah, it's a shocking experience.
Ordered a Blizzard. Hunter didn't know. I go, watch this. She's going to turn it upside down. And if she doesn't, it's free.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, that's their whole thing. And she did it. And I was like, it's free if you don't turn it upside down, right? And she was like, uh-huh. I was like, cool. This is great crowd work. Bye-bye. That was my... What?
I did go to Taco Bell today because I haven't had it. My teeth holes are finally, I think, healed enough. And the woman, I got such a genuine laugh when she was like, do you want any sauce? I was like, no, I have so many of them at home. Ugh. And she laughed and I was like, oh, usually they're so mad at Taco Bell when I talk to them. This one I'm having fun with. Watch out, Taco Bell lady.
I'm building my empire too. See you at the meeting. All right, what's your bottom account?
My bottom is also tooth related because I had to get this. They give you this syringe that just sprays water. You have to spray it in the holes.
Yes.
And so much stuff comes out every time. And I'm like, that's just living in the holes. Like every time you eat, there's just stuff in the holes. So I'm just syringing. I'm spending 10 minutes trying to make sure there's no remnants left in those holes. What if the holes heal over and there's a piece of scrambled egg in there? I'm so worried.
That's going to happen.
No.
It's going to rot. And it happened to me, and I would push on my jaw, and like juice would come out. It's fucking disgusting. And I don't know why, with all of our medical advancements and fucking boner pills, that we can't figure out a better way to do tooth extraction.
Put a cap on my hole. I can't believe they're just like, it's just an open cavity. Spray it at night so that stuff doesn't stay in there. And I'm like, I can't see in there. Why am I in charge of this? Why can't someone else be in charge?
You're going to name the episode Put a Cap on My Hole, right?
No, I was thinking somebody called you a majesty of questions or something, and I was pondering that. But I always re-listen.
I like Put a Cap on My Hole.
I take requests. We'll do that.
Okay. All right, folks, you're hearing this on Wednesday. Come see me this weekend in Iowa. Come see me in Minnesota. I'll be at the Mystic Lake Casino Hotel in Prior Lake. And then, I'm playing a bunch of dates in Asia. We're doing Singapore, Malaysia, Taipei, Tokyo, and then that's in December. I kept saying January. Whoops. That's in December. Oh, wow. That's a lot sooner than I thought. And hey, Australia, coming to you. Hamer Hall in Melbourne, and Sydney. Got 2 shows at the State Theatre and Aotearoa, which is the Maori word for New Zealand, which I named it that on my ticketing page because that's what they changed their name to. Aotearoa. Very cool of me. Very woke of me. Maori.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot, so let's get to decorating. Find your perfect tree in our huge assortment of shapes, sizes, and styles. Like the easy-to-assemble Jackson Noble Fir, with pre-lit branches perfect for styling with all your favorite ornaments. Or the Flock Starry Light Fraser Fir, with over 1,900 pre-lit memory wire branches that keep their shape so it's ready right out of the box. Ooh. Find the perfect tree now at the Home Depot.